Why does making friends as an adult feel so
What should I
hard?
wear on a first
What the
date?
hell is a form?
But that
Why
hookup
is
was
buying my
not
first
good.
home
What
so
do I want my
frustrating?
life to look like in 5 years?
We want to know too.
Since 2012, the Everygirl has been an online destination to help women around the world achieve the life of their dreams. Now, we're excited to bring you the same inspiring content with the Everygirl podcast.
Welcome back to the Summer Glow Up series and happy Tuesday, another amazing day to be alive. It's summer, yay, which means so many amazing things, but thanks to bathing suits and short shorts or dresses, it also means that we have a stronger focus on our bodies, specifically how other people perceive them. And this year feels even different. For one, there's the resurgence of skinny talk. I cannot even emotionally get into that right now, but you know my thoughts. And have you seen all of that discourse about the Miu Miu mini skirt? Actually, it's not even a mini skirt, it's a micro skirt. It went absolutely viral this spring, seen obviously on very thin runway models and celebrities. And ID magazine was praised for being the rare editorial that showed the look on a plus size model. But that even came with commentary because the Miu Miu skirt had to be customized for that model. It doesn't even come in plus sizes. These trends are just manifestations of something bigger going on in our culture. Plus size clothing options are actually disappearing. According to the most recent Vogue Business Size Inclusivity report from March, the number of plus size models had dropped to a minuscule 0.3% of the runway shows from the spring. In 2019, brands like Adidas, Anthropologie, Athleta joined the plus size fashion market by introducing extended sizing, but rather than these initiatives expanding over time like you'd think they would, the brands have rolled the initiatives back. Even though 67% of American women are considered plus size, so it's not for lack of customers. Now, why this matters for you, whether or not you're plus size, is because this means our culture has shifted back into skinny at all costs. Our weight determines our worthiness to society. So when we see less body diversity, everyone suffers because we are taught that only one type of body is worthy. So even if you are closer to that ideal size, you still live in fear of gaining weight or not looking perfect. You're constantly performing for approval. And then if you're not that size, you're taught that you need to earn your way into worthiness by shrinking yourself. Guys, it doesn't just harm plus size people, it harms everyone by reinforcing a system where our value is conditional, where joy, confidence, even basic self respect is something that we believe we have to work for or earn through something as meaningless as our appearance. You guys, that's oppression in a different outfit. So, when I was brainstorming what episodes you might actually need right now, especially while thinking about all of the possible advice that you would want to know for a summer glow up series, I knew I had to include this topic. First of all, I know a lot of you struggle with body image, especially this time of year, but also in my ongoing mission to help you live your greatest, fullest, happiest life. This is a key part. How much of our energy and crucial brain power is taken up wanting to be skinnier or more toned or curvier or have less cellulite or our eyebrows are too thin or our under eye bags are too noticeable or our boobs are weird or we're breaking out. How many wonderful vacations or pool days were dampened because you were so hyper aware of your stomach in your bikini or a breakout on your face? I'm sitting here right now saying this, staring at my face in the monitor, trying to look at my double chin, a breakout, whatever. It's exhausting. How often has the way that you thought you looked changed the way that you walked into a room? Changed who you spoke to, how self assured you felt in meetings, or held you back from going on a date or talking to the hot guy at the bar? Not feeling pretty enough or attractive enough is sadly a very universal experience for women that I believe is the main thing holding us back from living our best lives and being our favorite selves. So I know you guys love the wellness and the manifestation and all of that, but getting rid of all of this lack of worthiness and body noise has the same purpose. I mean, think about it. You love wellness and you want to update your health in order to feel really good in your body, right? Both to feel good and also to feel good about the way that other people see you. What I'm going to talk about today is going to help you get there on a deeper level than your diet or your exercise routine ever could. If you've ever asked, why can't I stay consistent with my goals? Or why don't I feel like I'm living my fullest, best life? This might be the block. Not because your body is in the way, but because your relationship with it is in the way. And I'm not saying you can't also work on losing weight if that's right for you. Episode 172 is full of super unique and extremely helpful weight loss tips. What I am saying is that feeling amazing in your body requires the external work and internal work in order to make any difference. Your end goal is probably to feel really amazing in your body and feel confident in the way other people look at you and what they see. You can work on this through your goal of walking more, eating more fiber and protein, and changing your mindset. You hear me say a lot, when something triggers us, you don't always have to change the trigger. You can change your reaction to no longer get triggered. That's the way I think about this feeling good in your body as well. We often just think about how we have to change the trigger, like we have to change our bodies to feel more confident in them. But confidence doesn't work like that. It's a skill you practice. It doesn't just happen based on circumstance. So, for sure, if weight loss is a healthy goal for you and you do it out of love and respect for your body and not out of hate for it, maybe weight loss will make you feel more comfortable or healthier. But if you don't work on the internal confidence, I promise you, there will always be another insecurity you'll obsess over, no matter what size you are. After all of the work that I have done to heal my body and improve my self worth, I have still never spent a summer or a vacation without being hyper aware of how my body looks in a bathing suit. I have never had a summer where I focus more on my experience than how other people experience me. And I'm fucking exhausted, aren't you? I was really one of the lucky ones. My mom never commented on my weight or the way I looked throughout my childhood. She still has never made a comment to me about my weight or hers. She called me kind, smart, talented, and never once referred to the size of my body. I really grew up with the mentality that who I was defined me, not what I looked like. But even that foundational self-worth couldn't totally protect me from how the rest of the world told women they were supposed to be. That scene in Mean Girls where the plastics are standing in the mirror, each pointing out what's wrong with their appearance, is funny because it's so true. Maybe not always that extreme, but I remember as early as 8 or 9, I would look in the mirror and hate how round my stomach was. In fourth grade, my friends and I would do planks at sleepovers after eating pizza because one of the friends heard that it burns off calories from the food we eat. We were 10 years old. I also wore the same size as my sister growing up, who was 4 years older than me, which definitely messed with my perception of my body and what it was supposed to look like. It felt like I was so much bigger than I was supposed to be. In eighth grade, boys made a list of all the girls in the class ranking how hot their bodies were, and it deeply felt like the end of the world to be at the bottom of the list. Even going through college and early adulthood, me and my best friends, the most hilarious, cool, gorgeous women I know, would laugh about how we didn't eat all day in order to be able to eat the cheese board at wine night, or how many calories we burned at spin class, because wanting to lose weight and hating our bodies is so normalized. If you don't hate your body, you are Katie Heron, where everyone's sitting there staring at you like you don't have anything bad to say about your body. And I know so many of you have such similar experiences, if not even worse. Everyone's insecurities look very different. For me, my insecurities looked like the occasional, I wish this body part was different, or I wish I looked like her, or sure, I could probably afford to lose a few pounds. I really always would consider myself confident, but I was much more confident in my personality, not my body. Bathing suits always made me feel a little self-conscious. I was painfully aware of the weight I gained from cafeteria food and slapping the bag at frat parties. My freshman 15 was not just 15 pounds, and it lasted much longer than freshman year. And then after graduating college as an adult, it felt like this constant underlying noise, like this hum that's always there to eat better before every event or vacation or to feel guilt for overindulging. I actually remember after college, I moved home to start at the Everygirl and I accidentally lost weight, which my body is not one to lose weight easily, even on purpose. But I think I was just eating at home so much more than obviously I ever did in college. And I was drinking so much less alcohol. I didn't even notice, but my clothes fit differently and people started telling me I'd lost weight. But I wasn't aware that I looked any different. And I remember thinking, if I had lost weight, shouldn't I feel better about myself? I shouldn't still have food guilt and I should be happy about my appearance, right? It's what I always thought was the missing piece I never had the willpower to achieve, but I didn't feel any more confident. I didn't feel different at all. I actually, if anything, felt kind of less confident because I didn't feel any skinnier or prettier. I felt kind of less feminine. Like I remember feeling like I missed the curves that I spent years desperately wanting to get rid of. Just a really quick side note, what I really learned from that experience is that we all have very different body types for a reason. Every woman's ideal body should be completely different from anyone else's. We are so distracted by achieving what society has told us is perfection that we don't stop to think about what would actually make us feel our best. And that's always individual to each of us. But losing weight did not make me more confident or make me love myself more. And gaining weight back, by the way, didn't make me hate it anymore. Anyways, my point in sharing my story with you is that this isn't what a great life looks like. And realizing that changed everything for me. Even though I am still actively working to get rid of the constant hum telling me to lose weight or disliking a part of my body in a swimsuit, it doesn't really affect my life so much anymore because I know it doesn't fucking matter. And I want to help you feel that freedom and joy too. Like, join me on the other side. Your life will be so much better. So, here are my tips to help you actually get rid of insecurities and feel confident this summer and beyond. Tip number one, practice somatic respect instead of self love. Loving your body can sadly be really unrealistic, and I get that. It feels performative and artificial to look in the mirror and say, I love you, thighs. I love you, stomach. If you have spent years of your life hating them and you would still give anything for them to look different, it doesn't feel real. Isn't that so sad to think about, by the way? Like, when we really think about how hard it is to love these parts of you that have been with you since the day you were born, they're just trying to keep you alive. Like, imagine looking at a picture of 5-year-old you and being like, your stomach is fat or your thighs are too big. Like, it's really sad. Anyway, even though it's sad, it is really freaking hard to feel that love for our bodies. So, if that's the case for you, practice somatic respect instead. What that means is respecting what your body has gone through and what it does for you instead of loving what it looks like. This idea comes from somatic psychology, which focuses on how the body holds trauma, memory, and healing. Your body has literally kept you alive every day of your life. Every cell, every scar, every curve is a receipt of your survival. Your body has also been responsible for the best times of your life. Maybe it was when you danced all night with your friends. Maybe it was the best pasta you've ever had, or the comfort and the nostalgia you feel when you taste your grandma's chocolate cake. Maybe it was the first time you kissed your significant other, or the best sex of your life. Maybe it was the time you laughed so hard you snorted, or when you held your baby or your niece or nephew for the first time. All of the snuggles with your dog. Our bodies are responsible for all of that. And like, think about that. Like, we are going to condense these experiences down to a fucking pant size because our fucked up patriarchal society is trying to keep us small. I'm so emotional about this topic. If you can't love it, respect, and appreciate it, your body is not meant to be an ornament. It's a historian. It's a map of all of the most wonderful, difficult, special, beautiful, meaningful moments of your life, and it deserves reverence. So when you get into these bad body image days or have an insecure moment, you don't need to recite cheesy affirmations in the mirror if that doesn't do anything for you. Instead, ask yourself, what has my body gotten me through? Think about all the heartbreaks, illnesses, big moves, jobs, grief, the best moments of your life, and then say, thank you for carrying me through all of that. You don't have to love the mirror. Just start by honoring the freaking miracle it is that your body performs every day, every breath, just by existing. Tip number 2 is to use your reticular activating system to hack into confidence. You guys know I love the reticular activating system. I mentioned the system of neural pathways a lot because it's so powerful. Your reticular activating system, the RAS, is a filter in the brain that decides what information to focus on. So, for a refresher, a very common example of this is if you buy a red Honda Civic, you'll begin to see a lot more red Honda Civics on the road, not because more people are buying them the same time that you did, although I'm sure you are very highly influential, but because your RAS previously did not think they were relevant to you, so it filtered them out. And now it sees it as relevant, so it filters them through, so you notice them. If you've had a complicated relationship with your body or you've noticed breakouts, cellulite, whatever, your RAS has been trained to filter in every imperfection: thighs, skin, belly rolls, hair on your chin, a pimple, what have you. So you can literally train your brain to notice beauty in your own body and notice less imperfections. Just try this. For the next week, when you catch yourself body checking or spiraling, redirect your RAS. Pick one quality of your body to notice or be grateful for, even if it's not aesthetic. Like, I love how strong my legs feel when I climb stairs, or I love how soft my skin feels when I apply lotion. Teach your body to reprioritize. Over time, this doesn't just change how you see your body, it changes how safe you feel inside of it. Tip number 3 is for the girls who feel like, again, thinking confident thoughts doesn't feel true. It feels artificial and performative. You don't always have to think your way into confidence. You can move your way into it. What I mean by this is that your body doesn't just respond to your thoughts respond to your body. This is a concept in neuroscience called embodied cognition. It means that the way you move, the way you sit, how you breathe, how you walk, those things literally influence the way your brain thinks and feels. So if you are shrinking yourself, you have hunched posture, you have shallow breathing, you're moving hesitantly and uncomfortably, your brain is absorbing that as truth. Especially when we feel unconfident, we tend to shrink more because we kind of pull our bodies inward. We try to cover ourselves. So when your body does that, it believes that you are insecure and unsafe. But when you expand your posture, when you take deeper breaths, when you walk with intention and with your chest opened, even before you believe in yourself, your brain will catch up. Your body teaches your mind confidence. So, something you can do is try a power pose reset when you're lacking confidence or before going into a scary situation like showing up to the pool or even before a meeting or something, especially if you notice that your body's already hunching forward or turning inward. Reset your posture, relax your shoulders, open your chest, take a deep breath, hold your head high, not because you need to fake it, but because your thoughts will respond to your body. Tip number 4 is to separate from your internal voice. You know that voice that tells you you're not pretty enough in that dress or that everyone will think you look ugly in a bathing suit? That's not you. That's a character you picked up from years of conditioning. You know this if you've read The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer, who talks about how you are not the voice in your head. You are the one listening to the voice. The core idea in his book is that the constant chatter in your mind, the voice that's narrating your life, judging everything, spiraling with insecurities, this is not you. You are the one who hears that voice. You are the observer, the consciousness behind the voice. He explains it like this. Imagine sitting on a park bench with someone who never stops talking. They're constantly analyzing, criticizing, obsessing over every little thing. You would think this person is unwell. But that's exactly how most of us live, with that internal monologue running 24/7. And we just accept it as if it's reality. So, Singer teaches that once you realize you are not that voice, you stop identifying with that voice. So, when the voice says, you're not thin enough or you can't wear that, you don't automatically believe it. You notice that thought, you let it pass, and then you can choose a different thought. So, realize that that voice in your head is not you. Maybe it came from your eighth grade bully. Maybe it's actually a parent's voice in your head. For a lot of us, it's probably culture and media and patriarchy. Our beauty standards are rooted in Western colonialist ideas of thinness, whiteness, and control. Because how cool is this to think about? In other cultures and in other times, curves have been sacred. Softness is sensual. Fat is a sign of wealth or fertility. So it is not inherent and biological that your body is not attractive. It is cultural conditioning. So, whatever that voice is, she's not your highest self. She's like the mean girl that you accidentally became best friends with. And now you're like, well, fuck, I can't get rid of her. Fire that bitch. Or at least just realize she's not you. The more you challenge the voice, like, okay, I'm thinking that I don't look good right now. Who told me this? Do I believe this idea that my stomach fat makes me unworthy, or did I inherit that belief? The more you question it, the weaker it becomes. And then lastly, feel the insecurity and do it anyway. We are used to experiencing our insecurities as stoplights. Like we see someone cute at the bar and we think, I don't look good tonight, so I won't approach them. Or maybe you've had the experience of wanting to sleep with someone, but you feel insecure about how your body looks naked, so you don't. Maybe you've canceled on plans to go to the beach or the pool. Maybe you don't post the photo because you don't like your body in it. I've been there. But confidence isn't about the absence of insecurity, it's the willingness to keep showing up with it. We think we need to feel 100% good in our bodies to put on the bikini, to take the photo, to say yes to the date. But you don't. You just need to be brave enough to feel discomfort and do it anyway. What I love to do in these moments when I'm feeling insecurities or when I'm feeling self doubt is to say to myself, so what? Okay, I got a fat roll hanging out of my bikini. So what? My makeup looks really bad today. So what? I have a breakout. So what? Nobody gives a fuck about the way you look. Even my fiance or any guy I have ever dated, by the way, who objectively would be the ones to care about the way I look, mostly because of physical attraction. That's part of that dynamic. They have never noticed or cared if I had a breakout or if I gained 10 pounds or if I had a fat roll or a bad hair day. They've never noticed or cared. When have you noticed or cared when a friend or someone you're dating was a size 6 instead of a size 4? When have you looked at a coworker and noticed a breakout and thought, yikes, that's embarrassing? Like, we don't notice or care about these little things in other people, and other people don't notice or care about these little things with us. So, okay, you feel insecure about the way you look. So what? And I don't mean so what to be so tough lovey. You know, I'm a much more soft lovey kind of girl, but it kind of helps me reframe my perspective because it reminds me that, like, oh, yeah, it actually doesn't matter. That insecurity that I have will not change anyone else's experience of me, except when it causes me to limit myself in how I show up fully in my life. But gaining 5 pounds, cellulite, a fat roll, a pimple, these things won't impact the way other people experience me. So I want you to know that insecurity is not a stop sign. It's just a feeling, and feelings are not facts. So the next time you want to skip the thing, skip the pool, the date, the selfie, your life, don't. Remind yourself that an insecurity should be a green light. Because going to the pool when you're feeling insecure, realizing that it was fine, and then having fun is the only way you get rid of the insecurity. Those are my favorite tips to feel more confident in your body, or at least to get rid of all of those insecurities. I think these tips are much more helpful than just the cheesy, cliche self love advice that can feel very artificial. And again, I know that I said that body love can feel like a far off goal or really impossible. And you know how I said that losing weight didn't actually make me love myself more? I want to also share with you what actually did help me love my body more. I changed my goal to be healthy instead of skinny. I know this is hard to believe, knowing me now, but I really used to think of nutrition through the lens of calories, carbs, fats, proteins. I obviously knew food was necessary for survival, but I also understood and saw food through labels like good and bad because it was all about how it would make my body look. My entire outlook and relationship with my body changed when I learned about using plants as medicine and how to eat to change the way I feel. Now, my goal is to be healthy for optimal energy, to live a long life, to show up to interviews and recordings better for you, to be my most vibrant self, to feel happy. That is why I make the decisions I make with my food. When I started eating to be healthy instead of skinny, I started loving my body for what it could do instead of what it looked like. I also focused on strength instead of weight. As much as I wish this transition was 100% about internal mindset, the truth is that that was just like 90% of it. The other 10% of achieving self love for me came from how I felt looking in the mirror. I've always loved exercising, and I knew that I felt better overall when I was consistently moving. But back in the day, I would work out for calorie burn. I loved the classes that tracked how many calories you burned, as if that's what would make a tough workout worth it. So when my self love changed, so did my workouts. I learned that there are thousands and thousands of reasons to work out. Weight loss isn't one of them. Now I work out to make my muscles stronger and to feel more powerful in my physical self. So then I started looking in the mirror and feeling powerful and strong rather than hoping to feel smaller. When my focus shifted to more strength instead of less fat, I started to love the body that I saw in the mirror. I also actually started caring for myself, and this one sounds, I know, like a no brainer, but I used to prioritize what I thought was self care. And also what I think a lot of people I see on TikTok are calling self care. And it subconsciously made me dislike myself even more. When we are hellbent on having the perfect routine or the perfect day of eating or perfect nighttime routine or perfect week of exercise, we are prioritizing a checklist over self love and thinking that the two don't conflict. Self care isn't bubble baths and meditations and face masks or even working out every day if these things aren't truly caring for you. As Dr. Jody said in her episode, it's not self care if you're doing it with your shoulders up. Instead, self care might be binging 3 hours of Real Housewives, having wine night with your friends, sleeping in an extra hour when you need it. Because what truly recharges you and makes you happy will look different than everyone else, and it will also look different every day. What caring for yourself, self care, actually means is choosing to leave behind whatever is unhealthy for you, whether it's relationships, jobs, or your own beliefs and habits that aren't letting you be happy. And then lastly, I would say what made a huge difference in being able to love my body is realizing that the way that I look was not an accomplishment. Like, honestly, probably the greatest shift in my relationship with my body came when I stopped associated being a better version of myself with having a better body. So now what I do when I feel an insecurity come up, I remind myself that my best self has nothing to do with a breakout, a patch of cellulite, or gaining a few pounds. I also look at like when I notice myself looking in the mirror and thinking something negative, like, oh God, I have too much fat here, or this is unattractive, or whatever, it is a sign to me that I've been too focused on myself. Because when you suck yourself, and not even you're sucking yourself, I'd say society is forcing us to be sucked into these bubbles of like, everybody is aware of the breakout on my face or the pant size I wear. We've become a little too negatively focused on self. So the antidote to that, focus on other people. Call up a friend to see how they are. Tell your friends what you love about them. Call your mom. Make plans with your significant other. Donate to an organization. Put your energy that you are looking in the mirror and saying everyone's staring at you and thinking how ugly you are. Use that as a sign that you haven't been focused enough on other people. Not only does this reframe for me help me get outside myself, but it also really reminds me that I do like the kind, compassionate person that I am, because that's a real accomplishment. I hope these tips really help you. And I want to remind you before I leave you of the purpose of this, because I don't want you to fall in love with your body so you can feel pretty. I mean, you're obviously hot as hell and you deserve to feel that. But I want you to fall in love with your body so that you can live a bigger life instead of a smaller one. When you love your body, you walk into more rooms you want to. You say yes to the pool day, the hot affair, the once in a lifetime vacation, the dream career. This episode is actually about unlocking a version of you that's been buried under years of insecurity and shame and comparison. That's why this is part of the Summer Glow Up series. When you stop obsessing over what your body looks like, you free up all that energy to actually live in it. You guys, I promise you, unlocking this is the portal to your glow up. It may sound cheesy, it may sound too good to be true, but really deeply implement these things that we've talked about today. Let yourself feel whatever resonated with you and start doing the action steps, and you'll see how every part of your life transforms. My final call of action for you today is kind of selfish because I want you to share this episode with a friend, with your sister, with your mom. Share this with someone that you think needs to hear this, especially as we go into a season that can be really hard for us when it comes to the noise that we hear about our bodies. Share this episode. That's the best way to support the show. And I know I sound like a broken record and I say this every single episode, but every comment you guys leave on Spotify, on YouTube, every Apple review, I don't know how else to say it besides like it literally makes my whole life. So thank you so much for everyone who engages with me. I've said this before, but like it can feel a little lonely because you feel like you're speaking in the void and you're hoping it resonates and it feels like a one-way conversation. So getting your feedback, getting to hear from you, getting to know what resonates with you is like literally the best part of my whole job, truly and honestly. So thank you so much. I would love to hear from you about this episode and what resonated with you, so I know what I can do more for you. I feel like this is a good one to save and replay. I feel like even for myself, I'm going to need to rehear all this information before vacations coming up a few different times throughout the summer. So this might be a good one to save and download for later. I love you guys so much. Thank you as always for listening, and I will talk to you on Thursday. I hope you enjoyed the episode. I know I sure did. please do not forget to rate, review, and subscribe. It really makes a huge difference for our show so we can keep growing and bringing the content that you love. If you want more info, you can find us at the Everygirl Podcast on Instagram or theeverygirlpodcast.com. Talk to you next week.